Hello and welcome to another unboxing of Magic product. This week, something special. We've got the new Commander decks that have come out. This is the Devour for Power deck. Green, blue, black. So let's open this up and see what's inside. So in this you get 3 oversized cards, if I can get this out. I don't know how easy this is to see on camera, but these, all 3 of them are foils. Try and get these a bit closer. So you've got the Mimeoplasm, which is a legendary creature ooze. It's 0/0 and it says, as the Mimeoplasm enters the battlefield, you may exile 2 creature cards from graveyards, so it's any graveyard. If you do, it enters the battlefield as a copy of one of those cards with a number of additional +1/+1 counters on it equal to the power of the other card. Then we have Vorash the Hunter, legendary creature dragon with flying. Whenever Vorash the Hunter deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 2 colourless and a green. If you do, put 6 +1/+1 counters on Vorash. And that's a 6/6 already. Andemia, Sage of Stone, legendary creature Gorgon Wizard. Death Touch, skip your draw step. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have fewer than 7 cards in hand, draw cards equal to the difference. And that's a 4/4. So yeah, 3 very nice oversized cards there. And then you have the actual deck itself. So this is your 100 cards that form your Commander deck. Obviously it has the normal size version of those 3 cards in it. I'm just going to go through these. As you saw there, it comes with its own deck box. Once again, looks like yeah, once you get sleeves on these, they don't fit in the deck box. So there's our Commander, the Mimeoplasm. And of course the idea with this is by putting 3 legendary creatures with the same colour wedge in it, it does mean that you can choose which one you want to use as your Commander. If you read the back of the box, it makes it sound like the sort of first choice is the Mimeoplasm, but you can use the other 2 as your Commander. Like I said, they've all got the same colour wedge. So next up we have Nisium Grave Robber, and also on the same card, Night Eyes the Desecrator. Another legendary creature, Skullbreyer the Walking Grave. That's a black and green 1/1. Riddle Keeper, another creature. Fleshbag Marauder, Eternal Witness, Troll Aesthetic, Yavimai Elder. It looks like these are all the creatures. Solemn Simulacrum. Never say these properly. Brawn. Wonder. Sewer Nemesis. Gravedigger. Now you'll notice with these cards, because the commander, which is the Mimeoplasm, is doing graveyard shenanigans, a lot of the cards in here to complement that are interacting with the graveyard as well. So we've got Lyragoyf here. Lyragoyf's power is equal to the number of creature cards in all graveyards, and its toughness is equal to that number plus 1. Dreamborn Muse. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player puts the top X cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard, where X is the number of cards in his or her hand. So lots of graveyard shenanigans going on here. Mortivore, Desecrator Hag, Mole Drifter, very popular card in Pauper deck. That's used, I think, in Storm, in the Storm deck. Acidic Slime. This is good for destroying artifacts, enchantments or lands. When it enters the battlefield, that ability triggers. It also has Death Touch. Vulturous Zombie. More graveyard interaction. Dark Hatchling. So Dark Hatchling also has, as well as being a creature, it's also got removal. Allows you to destroy a target non-black creature when it enters the battlefield. Extractor Demon. Scythe Spectre. Rexiel the Risen Deep, another legendary creature. There's our Vorash the Hunter, so our alternative commander for this deck. Triskelivus. Slipstream Eel. Butcher of Malakia. Patron of the Nezumi, I think that is. Demir Sage of Stone, so this is our third commander. Saztek Lord of Secrets, this is another legendary creature. Blue-black. Avatar of Woe. Artisan of Kozilek. And here's the Soul Ring. There's going to be a Soul Ring in each of the decks. Dimir Signet, another mana fixing tool. Golgari Signet, so this is all our mana fixing. Lightning Greaves, which is a piece of equipment. Very low costing here. We've got 2 colours to play and 0 to equip, and the equipped creature has haste and shroud. Another piece of mana fixing allows us to add green and blue to your mana pool. Cost of 1 colour less than tapping. Oblivion Stone. Now what you'll see in these decks is these Vow cards. So you've got Vow of Wildness. So these are a series of enchantments that give the enchanted creature various abilities. So we have obviously one for each of the colour in the wedge. Another enchantment, Memory Erosion. Grave Pact. Now we move on to an instant here, Tribute to the Wild. Spell Crumple. Fact or Fiction. Relic Crush. And here's a sorcery, Minds Aglow. Shared Trauma. Sign in Blood. Stitched Together. And here we have a green card, Cultivate. Good way of accelerating your basic land. Search for your library for up to 2 basic land cards, reveal those cards and put one into the battlefield, tap, and the other into your hand, then shuffle your library. Windfall, which is another sorcery. Buried Alive. Siphon Mind. Unnerve. So this is a discard. Risen from the Grave, or Rise from the Grave, should I say. Siphon Flesh. Each other player sacrifices a creature. You put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield for each creature sacrificed this way. Living Death. Each player exiles all creature cards from his or her graveyard and sacrifices all creatures he or she controls, then puts all cards he or she exiled this way onto the battlefield. Now we're moving on to land. We've got Barren Moor. Here's the command tower. These are going to be, I think, one of these in each of the command decks, in each of the commander decks. So it just allows you to add to your mana pool 1 mana of any colour in your commander's colour identity. So incredibly specific to commander. Dim Aqueduct. Dreadship Reef. We've got quite a few non-basic lands here, obviously. Golgari Rot Farm. Yuar Isle Refuge. Lonely Sandbar. Rupture Spire. Simic Growth Chamber. Svoggothos, I think that is. Svoggothos, the Restless Tomb. Temple of the False God. Terramorphic Expanse. Tranquil Thicket. And now we move on to our basic land. So here's all of our forests. And then our islands, and then our swamps. Not too sure what set this artwork is from, but it looks like there's 4 different designs, and that is basically what's in the box. You've also got a couple of inserts here. Normal thing if you've ever bought Magic product before. You basically have your basic how to play Magic, so the basic rules about what you need to play and how the turn works in there, and this other one is here, which is specific to the Commander environment. So this tells you exactly how to play your Devour for Power deck in here. Yeah, so as it says, as you probably realise by the choice of cards, just pan back a bit. The Devour for Power deck uses the graveyard as a resource. Cards that are discarded become ammunition. Because graveyards naturally grow larger and larger over the course of the game, so does your deck's power and influence at the multiplayer table. So they're basically saying that obviously the first choice of Commander is the Mimeoplasm because of that. And they're saying it's at its best when you combine a creature with high power, such as Artisan of Kozilek, Slipstream Eel, or Lurgoyf, and a different creature with excellent abilities such as Troll Ascetic or Triskavelis. And then there's various cards in here which help fill people's graveyards. And of course what they're pointing out is that in some ways you want your opponents to destroy creatures on the battlefield so they end up in graveyards. And then there's a little bit down the side about a couple of the other legends in the deck, which aren't the ones that you could use as a commander. As you saw, there were quite a few other legendary creatures in here. And then there's the deck list just there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing this deck. I must admit it's very tempting to buy some of the other decks as well. There's basically 5, each one corresponding to a colour wedge, and a colour wedge is where you've got 2 allied colours and 1 enemy colour in it. This is considered, I think, to be the best deck in terms of having the cards that are most expensive if you price it up. Another deck that seems to be popular is the red, white, black deck. I'm trying to think what that's called, and that's obviously got a lot of removal in it. And I was sort of talking with the people down at the local comic store, and they were saying that's also selling really well. So that's the Heavenly Inferno deck. So it seems that this deck, which is Devour for Power, and Heavenly Inferno are proving really popular. So thanks for watching this unboxing, and no doubt I will have some other unboxings in the future. Bye for now.